How's it going, everyone? AZ Plow 21 back again with another episode of our UFC save in WMMA 5, and here today it is UFC Fight Night. Cara de Zapato versus KELVIN Gastelum. Antonio Carlos Jr. taking on KELVIN Gastelum in our middleweight main event here today. Number 6 versus number 9 respectively. Also got Save Northcutt, Travis Brown, Frank Mir, Karate Hottie, Jessica Andrade in action as well. It should be a good one. Our next card is going to be a pay-per-view. UFC 285 Baga Utinov versus Kai Kara France. Also a interim bantamweight championship fight on that one as well. Title eliminator between Zabit and Jose Aldo. Piotr Yan facing off Henry Cejudo. And Dominic Reyes versus Junior Dos Santos in the heavyweight division. Should be pretty interesting. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Cara de Zapato and KELVIN Gastelum taking place in Arkansas of all places. Let's get started with the prelims. Kama Worthy taking on Tommy King in the 175 division, and it's Kama Worthy, the Death Star, coming out on top via submission. He's now 3-2 in the UFC. And calling out Maxim Shvets, Kamil Onashuk taking on EZDS in the 175 division, and it's EZDS coming out on top. Sage Northcutt going to kill him with kindness and general violence. EZDS 10-7 now in the UFC and needed that win in a big way. He was on 4 straight losses. Cole Williams taking on Sergey Kondoshko. Williams 13-4, Kondoshko 38-1. Kondoshko getting a TKO victory over Cole Williams, improving to 5-3 in the UFC, including a win over Yuri Lapicus, who just, I would say beats, but who won against Eddie Alvarez in one championship. Yaroslav Amosov taking on Han Seul Kim in the welterweight division, and it's Amosov getting a TKO victory in round number 1. And he needed that win. He was 0-2. Very weird looking body. But he gets a win in the UFC here today. Sean Strickland taking on Sean Brady. Battle of the Seans. Sean. In the 175 division, Brady coming off a win over EZDS. Sean Strickland 8-4-1 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Logan Storley. And it's Sean Strickland who gets a unanimous decision victory over Brady in what was a poor fight. Unfortunately, you can see he's a wrestler, so take a guess at what he did to win the fight. Joey Davis taking on Sagid Izagakmayev. Nice. Sagid undefeated at 12-0, 3-0 in the UFC, coming off a win over Carlos Condit. Takes on Joey Davis, 4-1 in the UFC, coming off his first loss of his career to Neil Magny. This is a very interesting prospect fight, and it's Joey Davis who gets a unanimous decision victory, the Compton, California native, improving to 13-1. Philip Tomchak taking on Magomed Ismailov. Ismailov 18-5-1, Tomchak is 11-3, and it is Ismailov who knocks out Tomchak with 2 seconds left to go in round number 2. He improves to 2-2 in the UFC. Moving on, Zach Cummings taking on Abakar Yandiev. Yandiev 13-2, Cummings 24-10, and Zach Cummings gets a win via TKO in round number 1. So he's now 10-7 in the UFC, and he was on a 2-fight losing streak before that much-needed win. Devin Brown Bear Clark taking on Abdul Karim Edilov in the light heavyweight division. Clark 13-6, Edilov 19-6. And it is Edilov who comes out on top, chokes out Devin Clark with 3 seconds left to go in round number 1. And let's take a look here. 4-2 now in the UFC is Edilov. Gordon Berkman. This is kind of just a lob up for Christian Edwards. We have him on a contract and he sucks, so we're going to use him. Taking on Christian Edwards, 9-0, straight out of Bellator. And Christian Edwards submits Gordon Jackrabbit Berkman in round number 1. Jessica Andrade taking on Isabella de Padua in the first fight on our main card. De Padua 0-1 in the UFC, coming off Oh, that was actually a while ago against Ariane Lipsky. She's coming off 6 straight wins in Invicta, making her debut against a very tough opponent in Jessica Andrade, who's coming off a loss to Amanda Ribas. Tainting the Sioux Falls legacy, that sucks. And it is Jessica Andrade who gets a split decision against Isabella de Padua. So de Padua holding her own against former champion in Andrade, and she's perplexed that she did not get a unanimous decision victory. Moving on, karate hottie Michelle Waterson taking on Loma Luke Boon Mi. Luke Boon Mi, no, Luke Boon You. That's a terrible joke. 7-2 in the UFC, coming off a win over Courtney Casey. Karate hottie coming off 2 straight losses, Rose Namajunas and Jessica Andrade. And it is the karate hottie Michelle Waterson who submits Loma Luke Boon Mi in round number 1. And she is very happy to get a submission win. The karate hottie with the jiu-jitsu. Biggie Boy Rosenstrike taking on Frank Mir in the heavyweight division. Biggie Boy 11-5, Frank Mir 23-15. And Frank Mir coming off a loss to Marcin Chibura. Biggie Boy Rosenstrike coming off 2 straight losses, Alistair Overeem and Tai Tuivasa. And it is Frank Mir who submits Biggie Boy Rosenstrike in the 3rd round. And I thought Shayna Baszler was disappointing. Also, boo that joke. Very funny. And he wants to fight Marcin Chibura. He wants to get that win back. Interesting, as Frank Mir is victorious once again. Travis Brown taking on Marcos de Lima in the heavyweight division. Travis Brown, now 40 years of age, number 7 in the division. Coming off 3 straight wins, Magomedov, Spivak, and Todd Duffy. De Lima, number 14 in the division, 2 straight losses, Abdurakhimov and Alexander Volkov. And it's De Lima who knocks out Travis Brown in the 1st round, and we could possibly see Brown retire here. He does not, but De Lima with a huge victory against a top 10 opponent. Super Sage Northcutt taking on Evan Dunham, 40 years old, the veteran of the Octagon, Evan Dunham, coming off a loss to Anthony Pettis. Before that, beat Benson Henderson. Super Sage Northcutt is 10-2 in the UFC. And I mean, look at this. Since he's come back to the UFC, 4 straight wins. Lyman Good, Matt Brown, Eric Koch, and Max Griffin. Surprised he's not ranked, honestly. He could be if he gets a win here in the co-main event. And he does. He knocks out Evan Dunham in the 1st round. And it's going to be interesting to see now what happens with Sage Northcutt. As we move on to our main event, Antonio Carlos Jr. taking on KELVIN Gastelum. Gastelum, number 9 in the middleweight division, has had an up and down time in this save. Beat Shabazian, lost to Brad Tavares, beat Uriah Hall, lost to Jacare Sosa, and then beat Murtazalia. He faces off with Antonio Carlos Jr., coming off 2 straight wins, David Branch and Krzysztof Jotko. It's our main event of the evening. KELVIN Gastelum is the odds-on favorite. Mark Goddard is your referee. There is the opening bell. Interesting to see what happens here. I feel like it's going to end up being a grappling fest, honestly. Tries to throw a 1-2, looking to open up an attack. Flurry of punches. Because if Carlos Jr. is going to win, it's going to be grappling. It's going to be submissions. He wants to set up a takedown, I believe. Beauty of a straight left. Nice straight left, lands hard. Crunching left hook. Catches him. And now Cara de Zapato already cut. And Gastelum's training out of AKA. Short strikes up against the cage. And that's the end of round 1. And Gastelum won at 10-9. And now that cut under the eye of Carlos Jr. could be a problem if he wants to open it up a little bit more. Gluttony says he's got Carlos. Left cross lands hard. A broken hand? Someone has a broken hand? Uh-oh. Ooh. Carlos nearly got rocked. Lovely left head kick. Wobbly legs. Gets knocked straight down. Oh, it could be over. Ooh, he's able to survive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nearly put in a Von Flu choke. Von Flu choke. Tries to hook a leg. Knee bar. Gastelum working for a submission here. I don't know if that's a good idea. And he gets it. Your winner by submission on Antonio Carlos Jr. is KELVIN Gastelum. KELVIN with a big win in the main event here tonight. And he's calling out Paulo Costa. And he wants to fight the big man out of Brazil. Interesting conclusion to our main event. My boy KELVIN Gastelum getting a big win in the main event. And let's see what the post-event awards are going to go to. No fantastic fights. A great fight. We'll give it to Ismailov and Tomchak. Sage Northcutt performance bonus. And yeah, under a minute, Amosov performance bonus. At that point, KELVIN was just flexing because he was beating him the entire time. And then he's like, you know what? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I'll submit you. Easy. Is anyone fighting that we know of? No, it does not look like it. All right. As always, we're going to update our rankings, take a look at our emails, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. Our next card is going to be that big pay-per-view, UFC 285, Baga Utinov versus Cara France. Flyweight title on the line, and an interim bantamweight title is going to be defended as well. Not defended, we're going to find out who the interim bantamweight title holder is. Corey Sandhagen getting injured, can't defend his title, so it's Nathaniel Wood and Thomas Almeida. Yeah, Gastelum just getting a little cocky there at that point. Could have ruined his night, honestly, but it ended up working in his favor, so why not? I can see someone doing that. As always, folks, I appreciate you. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I make a lot of WMMA 5 videos, and I'm going to keep doing this series until I see a good reason to stop. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch by following the links down below. You can also follow the Discord so you can be in on the conversation and know when I'm about to go live on Twitch. Be part of the Twitch chat and get a character of yours inputted into the game as well. Be on the lookout for some of my other videos. I do play other video games like Out of the Park Baseball, Franchise Hockey Manager 7. I'm gonna finish Persona 5 Strikers at some point. That game is a lot of fun, but it's very long, kind of like Persona 5. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't upload more various contents and whatnot. The reason to stop would if I'm about to earn a title shot. I guess, you know, but I mean, he was feeling it, so why not? Updating the rankings, De Lima up into the top 10 again, and Travis Brown down to 14th, Frank Mir up to 15. Finally, Giacomo Lemos is ranked after being undefeated in his UFC tenure. At middleweight, Gastelum up to number 6, Junior down to number 10. Nothing at welterweight, or lightweight, or featherweight, or bantamweight, or flyweight. Holly Holmes back in the mix at number 4. Nothing going on there. And Michelle Watterson moves up to number 7. Luke Boonley down to 16. All right. So I hope Ron Weasley wins his first fight. I do too. Gordon Berkman, we're just going to let go. This was a guy that we accidentally signed. And okay. We'll have you lose one more time, I guess. But yeah, so we accidentally signed him. And so it's like, well, we signed him already, so we have to use him, basically. Izagak Kamayev, he's still doing pretty well, so we're going to keep him around. Edeloff, coming off a win, definitely keeping him. The Chechnyan Lion, love to see it. Love the beard. Cole Williams. Actually, hold on. Ooh, yeah. 34. We're just going to go ahead and cut him, because he's too old to go down to WEC anyways. Kondoshko coming off a win. Sean Brady coming off a loss, but it's Sean Brady. He's still doing okay. 2 straight losses isn't the end of the world. Dmitry Sosnovsky down in WEC. He got a win. Over Felipe Lins. I'll bring him back. Because, yeah, I kind of have this internal rule now with myself that I can't send anyone down to WEC because it's meant for prospects, you know? It's meant for prospects and young fighters that are on losing streaks. So I'm not going to send anyone over like 33, 35 down to WEC. Because by that point, they're too old to be prospects, or like if they don't win in the UFC at that age, like they're done essentially. Easy DS, a much needed win for him. He needed wins badly. Amasov's coming off a win, so keep him around. All right, and Gastelum, that's right, he broke his hand during that fight. How long is he out for? 6 months, jeez. I mean, we'll see you in 6 months, I guess. And we will see you at the next fight card. UFC 285, Baga Utinov versus Kai Kara France. 2 title fights on that card. Should be a good one. The next pay-per-view after that is UFC 286, Jones versus Q Chalaba. Jones and Q Chalaba for the light heavyweight championship, followed by Montana De La Rosa and Valerie Loreda for the flyweight title. I'm AZ Plow 21. You guys have a good rest of your day.